Where is Triple H? Is
Who?
Oh, come on now.
Who? I don't know where.
Where does he live these days? He's at home, I'm sure, recuperating. He's not been back to work or made public comment. Does he live up in New Hampshire on an estate somewhere up there? I believe I've heard.
Well, I think he lives with his wife, and I think they're in Connecticut, aren't they? Well, he's from New Hampshire.
I had heard that they had a place in New Hampshire. I'm sure they have, a summer home in Connecticut or, someplace they stop in. Vince had that goddamn giant mansion that I used to go to in Stamford. And then when he went public and they became all billionaires and everything, I guess he had a big apartment in Manhattan too, just so he wouldn't have to drive that extra 30 miles.
Yeah, a lot of executives do that though.
Well, geez, how many beds can you sleep in at the same time? That's how many homes you need. But anyway, if Triple H is home, resting, recuperating, we hope he's doing well. But I'm just starting to think as the reason why we haven't heard from him, because we heard from him when he first got out of the hospital. It's not like he's not ambulatory. He's not in a medically induced coma. He's able to, I would think, communicate, even use sign language from his bedside or whatever. We have not been told that he's in that bad of a health. So is the question I'm asking basically then is Triple H, the man who came to dinner? Monty Woolley, 1942, co-starring Bette Davis. Google it, kids. Fantastic movie. But is he, I'll bring it up to a more modern wrestling simile. Is he being Bret Hart? Is he leaving to go do something and letting his replacement, in that case Shawn Michaels, self-destruct so he can come back and straighten things out? Or as Dick Murdoch used to say to his tag team partners, you start, and when you fuck it up bad enough, tag me in, I'll straighten it out. So as he's sitting there, I wonder, going, well, I just don't feel too good today. We'll see what Bruce and Johnny are going to do for Vince. And when it gets bad enough, then he'll make the comeback. You think that's it?
No, because I think it's bad enough in a lot of different ways. Both what we see and what we don't see on camera, behind the scenes. I think it's really bad right now. And I think he's in a bad position because he had a reputation with a lot of the talent for several years as being kind of like the independent godfather of some sorts, where he signed up everyone and he would get his picture with them and they'd have their property of Triple H t-shirt or property of NXT or WWE, whatever it was.
Property of Triple H.
That's what it was, though.
He wasn't compiling a fucking slave force to build a pyramid.
And, over several years, you had a lot of guys that were, and girls. Guys and girls. Is that proper? Guys and ladies? I don't even know what's the proper thing anymore.
Well, actually, if girls follows guys, then I think
I think so, right?
It's okay because it's the equivalent. Yes, you men and women, gentlemen and ladies, guys, girls, it works.
You had a lot of them in NXT who were used really well. And it was great stuff. And those takeovers were must watch. And then one by one, almost every single one, with the exception of a few like Charlotte or whoever, would go to the main roster and nothing would happen. And I've heard from some of them in the past the frustrations with Triple H. Where's Triple H? I was his guy. Where is he now? So, I mean, he already had that. And now everyone who he would have been preying on for a WWE contract is looking at AEW. And now he doesn't even have NXT because this isn't his direction. Even if he was running it right now, he doesn't want that lighting scheme and that look and that whole thing. There's nothing about that says Triple H. And then look at what's going on. We know what we hear, and we know what we know about Vince.
That's very deep. We know what we know. It should be we hear what we hear, we know what we know. Rather, we know what we hear, we know what we know.
We know things, and we also know who Vince is surrounding himself with.
We know things, loud noises. We know things.
I think right now would be a very difficult period of time to be Triple H. If you were expecting for years and years and years that you and your wife would be taking over and it would be some sort of seamless transition whenever that was going to happen, that's completely out the window now.
And instead, it's Bruce Pritchard and his wife, John Laurinaitis.
That's right.
Son of a gun. Wouldn't you know who won the pony?
What an ugly couple.
My son Bruce won the pony. You know,
What do you think? What do you think Triple H is going through?
I mean, again, he can't be happy, as you mentioned, because all of the things that he did is the exact opposite of what they're doing now to revamp what they thought was wrong with the show. And unfortunately, what they've revamped was everything that was right with the show, and they've revamped nothing that was wrong with the show. It's just all gotten worse. So I you know, and again, they had the oldest skewing audience because it was the only show that approximated what used to be professional wrestling. But they're going to have a long road to hoe, as Mama Cornette used to say, just getting 18-year-old guys to watch the show just because they're pushing 3 pretty girls.
You want to know what I really think Triple H is thinking right now? Honestly, he's got lots of money. His wife is still a McMahon. I think he's thinking at this point, I wish me and Sean could find an angel to back us and we could have our own thing. I think that's what he's really thinking.
I don't know if I'd hang my hat on Shawn Michaels' work ethic at starting something from scratch and going through that at this point in his life.
I just think wherever Triple H goes, he's going to try to bring his little buddy. But I think Triple H may see the writing on the wall. There may not be much of a future in WWE. It depends. Forget, we're dealing with right now Crazy Vince and the most inept stooges of the ones available. We're not even talking about when the company's sold. We're not even talking about when it's fucking Brian Roberts at Comcast or one of these people. It's going to be like Turner Light. It's going to be a disaster.
Well, it's already sounds, I mean, when you listen to Tony Khan and he knows all of the business buzzwords and the metrics and the platforms and all that stuff, but their idea of going for younger people with no wrestling experience and then training them, that's the same thing they were kind of going to do 20 years ago when we started developmental, except that they fortunately realized that you couldn't find that many people that had never wanted to be a wrestler before. And suddenly, because you offered them money and they decided to train to be a wrestler, there was only one problem with that. Most of them didn't turn out to be any good at it. The people that wanted to be wrestlers and that knew something about wrestling and or had some level of interest in it generally turned out to be the best workers. Now, there's obviously exceptions to that rule when you come up with a high-level athlete that's trainable, et cetera, et cetera. But it takes, then they're talking about 60-day review periods. The biggest problem is going to be when the other Khan, Nick Khan, or whoever takes over, thinks that you can just train to do something like this because you can learn how to do the moves, and that's so simple in their minds. You still ain't going to have anybody that can work because you're not going to have anybody with any level of experience and repetition in front of people and learning and different opponents and different styles and et cetera, et cetera. So it's just going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy of more good-looking athletic people doing moves to each other for no reason, and it's not in a very compelling fashion, because that's what you get with green, non-wrestling fan athletic fucking trainees. Moves. But they don't know the difference and here's good Lord, it's not like that you would think that business people from completely another realm, not wrestling, would come in, but at a high level of business would come in and not recognize that maybe Vince has lost a fucking hitch in his get along or two. And, or, you've got Bruce and Johnny to shepherd them through any understanding of the inside of the wrestling business and what training is like and how long it should take to produce results. And if those people that are a resource for the businessmen are telling those businessmen what they want to fucking hear, there you go. you can't learn how to do this from scratch in 6 months or a year and a half or whatever. And to do it at all, you usually need some level of interest in the product to begin with, so you're halfway know what it's supposed to look like. So I think we're going to end up with a touring holiday on ice. Well, look at the brilliant acrobats that come out now, and they're wearing ice skates and whatever.
Are the greatest athletes in the world. Come see them live.
And it's nothing related to wrestling, and it's, just something to see for kids or whatever the fuck, but there's going to be no emotion or passion in this. The talent may try to put some in it, but it's going to be even more than it is already right now, it's going to be a polished, big time, big money performance of something that comes to town once a year, or you can watch it on television. There's going to be no professional wrestling involved by the time they get finished with this.
You asked before about what Triple H is doing. I think I do have an idea about what he's been doing. From what I understand, and I guess this is like in preparation for life after WWE, he's added a fourth H to his H's. So now he's quadruple H, and the reason being, in this time off, he has just loved laying down on his Helix sleep mattress.
That's what I've heard as well, because now it's Hunter Hearst Helmsley's Helix. And you, folks, you can sleep on the same thing that Triple H is sleeping on. Not Stephanie McMahon, but a Helix mattress. What now?
For the record, we don't know that he's sleeping on it. We should clarify, we have no idea what in real life Paul Levesque sleeps on.
Well, they can take it up with Stephen P. New. I'll send him one, and that way we know he sleeps on it. Because, you can send these things easy as pie as gifts, because they come in a box that even one person can manipulate and operate. Folks, the Helix sleep mattresses are awesome. We've said this so many times. If you think that a nice cup of warm milk and a white chocolate fudge covered Oreo makes you sleep, if you lay down on a Helix sleep mattress and do that, you're going to be in blissful slumberland. And did you know now, Brian, reading some of the information they give, Helix even has mattresses with specialized cooling technology. If you and your significant other, family member, whatever, can't agree on the temperature of the thermostat, this way, if it's a little warm, the mattress cools you off as you sleep.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You don't have to go to a mattress store and lay down on a flea-bitten mattress that a bunch of other people have tried out with their trashy selves. And you don't have to get pitched by the sales associate trying to get whatever he wants to get out of his storeroom in your house. This way, you go to helixsleep.com and you take a quiz. It takes about 2 minutes. They ask you how you like to sleep, on your side, on your back, the temperatures you like, soft, medium, firm. You take the quiz. They match you up with their best mattress for your specifications, and you order it. And it comes right to the house, and the unboxing, as we said, is magical. You don't need to take my word for it. They were awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 and by GQ and Wired magazine. I didn't know Wired magazine rated mattresses. It seems like if you're wired, you'd almost never go to sleep. At least that was my experience with people back in the 80s, but nevertheless, Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and also quite a few massage therapists that I know who will rub you the right way. Just go to helixsleep.com/JCE, take the quiz, get the mattress, and they've got a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They will even pick it up for you if you don't love it. If you don't love it, there's something wrong with you. But if they pick it up, be prepared that they may hit you with it before they leave. However,
they
Helix
will not strike you. They won't strike you. There's no fear or intimidation involved in this process. It's a very nice, safe handoff.
There's no fear, but there is a level of intimidation. If you become rude with them, they're liable to defend themselves. I mean, if you call these people and say, come and pick up this mattress that I ought to like, but I don't for whatever reason, and when they come all the way down there to do that, and you're rude to them, or you call them names or potentially curse at them, I think they ought to hit you a time or two.
For the record, they won't hit you. They are very professional.
Not hit you, but they should, but they won't.
Maybe they should.
Anyway, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/JCE. You can get all the details when you go there and check all that out. Just sleep on a cloud, sleep on a dream. 12,000 5-star reviews. And their mattress in the Tokyo Dome got 7 stars.
Well, very good. Very good. And of course, Helix Sleep, a fine mattress. Everyone should check it out. But Jim, why am I taking over like it's my show? I have no idea what's going on.
This one's mine. We don't have any idea what the fuck is going on here.